Hey everybody, welcome to Lost Light and Laughter, an uplifting show about laughter after tragedy. I'm your host, Michelle A. If you're ready for some inspiration and laughter in your life, you've tuned in to the right show.
It's time to show love, everybody, show love one time. Feel me strong enough to fight my battles. I know he'll never give me more than I can handle.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Lost, Light, and Laughter. As you know, I have another special guest with us tonight. Miss Sheila Jones, tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Hello, I am a locally resident of Bryan College Station area, born and raised here. I'm currently employed with Bryan Independent School District in the technology department. And also, my husband and I, Senior Pastor Gary Jones, we pastor church locally, Eagles Nest Praise and Worship Ministries in Bryan.
Thank you so much for being here. Well, as you know, the name of the show is called Lost, Light, and Laughter. Talk to us about a significant loss that you've experienced in life.
I believe the most touching loss was the loss of two brothers. Mm-hmm. One was 41 when he passed. And the other one was 48. Yes. The oldest and the youngest.
So young.
And I was very close to both of them. Mm-hmm. And with that, the closeness that we would share different parts of conversations that were deep. Mm-hmm. And we just had a special kind of bond. And when I would think about them often because of the fact that they were left so quickly. Yeah. And I know sometimes when people are sick, we don't know the longevity of how long they will be here. But in comparison with my parents, they both left within 17 months of each other.
That's hard. I'm so sorry.
Yes. And my mom passed in July 3rd of last year.
I'm so sorry.
And so that loss was different from the siblings. And I believe it was because with my parents, they're just resting. So I don't see them as a loss. They're resting. Yeah. And when you see your parents as they grow older, you begin to position yourself. The Lord told me about 6 years before either one of them passed. He said, distance yourself. And I knew that meant that one of them was going to be leaving. And so I would go there every Sunday evening and be with them, spend Saturdays. I was just always in their face. And so I tried to distance myself. And then my dad would call and say, "Sheila, you're not coming out this day on a Sunday?" And I said, "Lord, I can't do it."
Yeah, that's hard.
I said, "I can't do it." I said, "I'm just going to go, and whatever you do, whenever they leave, I'll be all right."
Yeah.
And so, as time went on, and it was, I know it was 6-7 years, they were still here. Okay. And then my dad's health fell first. And the latter part, he didn't suffer long, but he was 92.
Oh wow! So he lived a good full life.
Yes. And so, also I believe too that I had a bond with both of them. Even though they were my parents, they were my buddies. Yeah. And so, with that being said, I enjoyed them to the fullest. I didn't miss out on any of the time that I spent with them.
Yeah, there's no regrets.
No regrets. Only when I was actually gone to college over in Sam Houston State in Huntsville, I would be gone during the week. But on Friday, they're going to come get me.
Yeah.
And so all that just because I loved them, not because of what they gave me, but I loved them because of who they were.
Yes.
And they were not parents that would sit and tell us, you ought to do this, you ought to do that. Yeah. They let us make our own choices. Yeah. Now, we knew what they wanted.
They already taught you.
Yes. So we had been trained.
Yeah.
But they always knew that if we kind of moved over a little error, we was gonna come back.
Yeah.
So, but the thing about it, their love was so great that you couldn't help but to enjoy the beauty of having them.
Yeah.
And there was nothing that I would take for that journey. And I told my husband when we first got married, I told him, I said, if you want to do anything for your mom, because he's from Fort Worth, you do it. You don't have to check with me.
Yeah.
Just give. If you want to give her money, it does not matter. If you want to come stay here, it does not matter. Because I said, when it comes to my mom and dad, I'm going to be there.
Yes.
And I had the opportunity to be there with them during their time of health failure. And with my two younger brothers, it was just the loss was different because they were yet in the prime of life.
Yes, their 40s is still very
Yes,
young.
41 and 48.
Yeah.
The youngest was 48 and the oldest was 41. And when the oldest one passed, I said, Lord, I said, some things I've been taking for granted, I'm not going to take for granted anymore.
Yeah.
And then when the baby passed at 48, I was working for God to do a turnaround on this, but it was too far gone.
Yeah.
He had cancer.
Oh.
And so we were with him to the very end.
Yeah.
We stayed at the oncology area of the hospital a solid week with him. And my friend said, I've never seen a family to do such. I said, we was going to be there till the end. And on that Wednesday, he kind of like, late Wednesday, he kind of went in like comatose state. And then that Thursday, he was non-responsive. And Friday, same. And he and his wife and I, we spent Thursday night, but that Friday night we went home. And I was on my way. We did nursing home ministers on Saturdays. I was on my way to the nursing home that particular Saturday. And I said, I was driving my car on Villa Maria. I said, Paul, you need to get on and get up out of here. And when I turned on Villa Maria and got to St. Joe and walked in, he just had slipped away.
Wow.
But I know that we all see losses different. But I thank God how being in him
Yeah.
and understanding what death really is. It's a departure,
Yes.
but it's only temporary.
Temporary. That's right.
And when the departure takes place, if we prepare ourselves in advance to a certain degree, but tragedy is something totally different.
Yeah.
But when sickness is in the body, that loss will touch. But I believe tragedy would touch even deeper.
Right.
Thanks be to God, I have not experienced tragedy within my immediate family, like with my husband and daughters or, grands, anything like that. But I know that God did this.
Amen.
He assured me that I didn't shed any tears for parents. Because it wasn't, I didn't lose them.
Right.
They just slipped away to go rest.
Yeah.
But the two younger brothers,
You wanted more time.
yeah, because those were my buddies.
Yeah.
We had my brother that was in Houston, the one that passed at 41, he was a pastor. And on Monday mornings, he called me and we talked. He pastored the home church here. And then on Wednesdays, I would do the Bible studies at the church. And he would call me on Thursday morning and say, girl, that's what you taught was something else. And so we did that those 2 days, and he's supposed to be working, but we would chit chat. And that was just to miss, to not have that.
Yeah.
And I would think about it those 2 days. Okay, I won't talk to Kenny today.
Right.
And then when Paul passed, you know, he would listen to some of the things when God would show me things. I'd share it with him, and he believed that what I said was going to be.
Yeah.
And so I missed that.
Yeah.
With those two.
Yeah.
But mom and dad, I'm all right.
Yeah. Did y'all always have a close-knit family, or did you grow into that?
No, there were 5 children, 3 boys and 2 girls. And my mom didn't drive. My dad was the sole provider. So wherever they went, all 5 of the kids went.
Y'all had to grow together. Y'all had to.
And also we lived in the rural of Bryan area on the east part of town, going towards in the Wixon Valley Curtin area. And so having 5 kids, we had to work with the things at the house to make everything come together.
Right.
So if my dad had a project, everybody big enough was going to be in it.
That's right.
And so we always did things together as a family.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Were y'all always raised in the church, or did y'all come to Christ later?
No, we were raised in the church.
You were raised in the church.
I went 9 months before I got here. My dad was a deacon for this church in that same community for like 54 years. And my mom was a Sunday school teacher. So they had been with the church as children.
Yeah.
And so they just grew up in it and they stayed. He went to the military when he got out. They got married in 54 and ever since then they've been running for the master.
Yes. So talk about your relationship with God, because you grew up hearing the word of God. When did God become real to you?
When I went to college at Sam Houston State University. You know, when you go away from home.
Yeah.
You want to spread your wings a little.
Yeah.
And so I had a friend girl that went to college also from here. And so we ended up being roommates not long afterwards. And she was a party animal. And so I was going places before I left home, but it got to the place that I would go to. They had a couple nice clubs in the city of Huntsville, so I would go to there, and she and I would go, and I did that for 2 years. And my A's lost their leg because they were no longer A's, they were without a leg, and if you can relate to that, they had turned into F's. And so I flunked out semester.
How'd you explain that to your parents?
and they were paying out of their pocket. They paid
because that sounds like
they paid for us to go to college out of their pocket. And so I was on probation and went back. She went and talked to the dean, and he let me back in. Then I was still partying, and I flunked out again, and I had to stay out a semester back at home. And they thought I was going to be graduating. And so they had performed a party just for me. And so I had to share with them when I got to the event that I wouldn't be graduating. And so that hurt.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was the reason for all that. So then, in 1979, I had a little talk with Jesus. Because I knew my coming to college was to get an education. And the only way I could make it is with the help of God.
Yeah.
I turned those one-legged A's into A's.
Amen. Amen.
And became A's and B's and graduated. And when I got my invitation to send out to the family and friends, I put in there Philippians 4:13. I can do all things.
Through Christ.
Yes, but it's the one says, Philippians 4 things, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. And I knew if it hadn't been for him doing that, I wouldn't have made it.
I believe you.
Yeah. Yeah, I wouldn't have made it.
Yeah.
And that was the best change in my life. And I'll tell you this, in 1979, when prior to making my confession to the Lord, like a couple of days later, I went to my last party and had my last drink.
Yeah.
I said, Lord, this is the last party and the last drink.
Yeah.
And then that Wednesday or Thursday, I had to talk with him.
Yeah. And your life changed. Good for you.
Yes.
And you can see the change in your life.
Yeah.
And I love the fact that you got to experience God for yourself.
Yes.
You know, of course your parents taught you the word,
Right.
they taught you the truth
Yes.
that was instilled in you. They trained you up in the way that you should
Right.
go. But there comes a point in all of our walks when we have to decide for ourselves.
Right.
And he has to become real to us.
Right.
And so I'm glad you got that experience early.
Yes. Because there was no need for me to go to
Yeah.
college if my parents were still going to direct my steps.
Yeah.
I had to get to the place where I could allow the Lord to order my steps.
That's right. That's right.
And the only way I could get to that, I had to hit rock bottom.
yeah. Yes. And he's been rocking with you ever since.
Ever since. Ever since.
And listening to you, just the way you describe death, you know that you've been walking with God.
Yes.
Because you have that confidence that you're going to see them again.
Yes.
And you know that death is just temporary.
Yes.
And so I know a lot of times it's a struggle for so many people to reconcile, like, God, why?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Now, you understand your parents, they were getting older. You know, they had to leave this earth.
Yes, yes,
okay?
yes.
That you understand. But did you cry out for your brothers, like, God, why so soon for them? Why so early?
I did. I did have that moment, you know, that they left so soon. And if they could have just
A little bit more
a
time.
little bit more time,
Yeah.
you know, because both sicknesses came sooner than, you know, we didn't know that they would leave
Yeah.
as they did, but they did.
Yeah.
And one was in, I told you one was in 14 and one was in 96. But it was just the age. I believe that did more.
Yeah. Did God ever kind of reveal to you why it was so early for them?
No, I didn't seek him for.
You didn't seek him for those?
No, because they were gone. You know, once they left, there was
Yeah.
no need to conversate about that.
Yeah. No, listen. I want answers, Lord. I want answers.
No,
but that's all right though.
That was no need. No, because he had allowed it. It was done.
Yeah.
So we just pick up and move on.
Yeah.
And one thing I would like to say concerning my parents, I believe, I respected them. I honored them.
Yeah.
And I believe that we as people, family members to parents, I believe if you respect them, obey them, I'm not, they know we're going to, like it. But the key thing is keeping a connection to where you don't spoil the relationship, to where the relationship remains at a purity that will allow you to be able to, as they get older, to be able to release them.
Yeah.
Because I enjoyed them.
Yes.
I didn't miss
Yes.
enjoying. I hear a lot of people say, I wish I'd have had more time. They saw me almost, they saw me anytime during the week.
Yeah.
I just go out there because I just wanted to see them.
Yeah.
They didn't want anything.
Yeah, you have more than enough time
Yes.
to share with them.
Yeah.
So talk to us about a funny story, because we hear the loss, but we know it's a temporary loss.
Yes.
And we hear about God in your life and his goodness and how
Yeah.
he shows himself strong and your confidence. Talk to us about a time when you remember laughing after You know, losing your brothers and then losing your parents.
My brother, the youngest one, there was a song that we did at a service called Troubadour, George Strait. And this particular day I was at work, and you know how you start tripping? I was at work tripping, and I played the song, and I just like had a moment right there and said, okay, Paul, it's good.
Yeah.
And just laughed.
Yeah.
And I haven't listened to the song anymore.
Wow. I get it. I get it.
Yeah, because as long as I was listening to that song, I was staying there. But when I got to the point, okay,
Yeah.
boy, you gone.
Yeah.
It's all right.
We gonna meet again another time.
Yeah.
Good.
And then my dad, when he left, I took him and my mom and my two little granddaughters. We took a little joyride, and he was unable to walk at this time.
Okay.
But I was able to get him in the car, and we went to this little small town called North Sewage. And I got him an orange soda with it was orange crush.
Yeah.
12-ounce bottle. And I got my mom a bottle. And I got him a bag of chips. And gave it to him. And my dad said, I hadn't seen this in a long time. You know, just to have
Right.
a bottle. And they both laughed and I laughed.
Yeah.
It was like the Lord told me, take them to the store, get them both a soda.
Yeah.
It's-
And that took them back.
yeah.
That was
Took 'em back.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's
we was
good.
just joyriding.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's a memory right
Yes.
there. And sometimes we think memories have to be something big or
Yes.
extravagant.
Or there was some money involved or
Yeah,
something.
yeah.
Yes.
Get them some pop and some chips.
Yeah.
And they good to go.
Good to go.
They happy. They are happy.
Yes,
Especially
yeah.
with that generation.
Yes.
You didn't need to do a lot
Yes.
to impress them.
Yes.
You know?
But that was a highlight of that day.
Yeah.
And they were just overjoyed with a bottle of soda water.
That's it. They
Yeah.
happy about it.
Yeah.
Because they knew, back
Yes.
then,
Yes.
when they were growing up,
Yes.
it was pretty expensive
Right.
for them to get that.
Right.
So,
Yes.
that's good.
Yes. So that put the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, talk to us about any type of words of wisdom or advice that you have for someone that's had a number of losses in their lives, when they might be feeling sad or depressed, or they feel like, God, there's so many. Why me?
Yes.
What advice do you have for someone that's in a state of grief where they're mourning right now?
I would like to share that when we get in these grief moments, God has to get back in place because we're allowing whoever departed to succumb our focus, our eyesight upon God. We know things happen.
Yeah.
And we sometimes catch us off guard, but we ought to be able to reach back and hold on to the hands of God.
Yeah.
Because if our relationship is where it should be in God, He'll give you a few signs, a few little nuggets to let you know that something is going on. Prepare yourself.
Yes.
And I believe that we as a people, we sometimes miss God. Little nuggets.
Yeah.
God's voice.
Yeah.
Because we are spending too much time in that area of, okay, we have pain, but our pain can overtake us to where we can't see God.
Yeah.
Because when someone has been sick, and if the Lord does not allow a turnaround, at that moment, every day you start preparing yourself for the departure.
Right.
Because we know God can do anything. But if you know in your sanctified spirit that they won't be remaining here, then we have to prepare. And I believe sometimes we just don't think at that moment. We just in our feelings.
Yeah.
And we all have feelings, but at the end of the day, my feelings have to settle down.
Right.
Because I can make myself sick.
Yeah.
Because if I have my feelings overruling the spirit of the living God that's in me,
Yeah.
suppressing it to where I can't even allow God in at that moment.
Yeah.
You know, and I believe I hear people talk all the time about their losses and their griefs. But I thank God that He allowed me. I can't talk for nobody else.
Yeah.
But He allowed me to walk the journey with them. And when they left, I was okay with my parents' departure.
Yeah. And that's the beauty of recognizing when God is moving and that unction, and you can pay attention to it, so you can follow suit. And sometimes when we're grieving and we're disappointed at things and disappointed at how God allowed things to happen in our lives, we can miss the good things that God allowed us to actually experience with those people, those individuals, those memories that, and those times that we can laugh. We rob ourselves of that when we stay in perpetual grief sometimes.
Yes. And I know spiritually, some people, we have all levels, spirituality. And then when the people don't have a relationship, that's even worse.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it with that one.
Because they deal with it. Because we have the Word and God to lean on. And because sometimes, even if your friends are there, they might not be in the mood.
Right. They have but so much capacity. Right?
They might not be in the mood. Yes. So what do you do?
Yeah.
Who do you go to?
Exactly.
Go find another friend?
Yeah. You wear them out with your grief.
Yeah. So.
And you don't want, and that's the last thing you want to be known for. Just continuously grieving. Yeah. Because now people miss you. They miss your smile. They miss your joy. And even your loved one, they wouldn't even want to see you like that. No one wants to see you grieving like that.
Because my mom was a chipper girl.
Yeah.
And Dad was chipper. He liked to tell jokes. And she used to get them all the time. Stop telling all them jokes. But, he liked to laugh.
Yeah.
And
he left that. He left that seed. Like, you're going to keep laughing.
Right.
After I'm gone, you'll see me again.
Yeah.
We're going to laugh again.
Yeah.
And God will give us these little tidbits, these little memories of things happening, and they'll just have us chuckle.
Yes.
Like, I know.
Yeah. Because he told me he he talked up until he left, except for a couple, maybe 2 days before or something. And he told me, he said, you know my girl, don't you? I said, yeah, I know that. Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah.
That is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your story with us, because I know it's going to touch a lot of our viewers. Can you tell them where they can find you if they want to reach out to you?
They want to find me?
Yes. Reach out to her.
If you want to find me, you can email srmj52@gmail.com. That's my personal email. Or you can email eaglesnestpraise1@gmail.com. And I will be waiting to talk to you.
Amen. All right. Well, you heard her. I want to thank y'all so much for tuning in to this episode of Lost Light and Laughter. Thank you so much for coming on.
You're so welcome, my dear.
Yes. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And remember, when you're laughing, you're healing. Bye now.
I'ma show love, everybody, show love one time. Feel me strong enough to fight my battles. I know He'll never give me more than I can handle. My Lord, my King, the one that I do love. He sends His love down from up above. My faith, my strength, and all that I believe in. My Father, the Holy One who I call friend. All of my